Welcome to Sermon by the Sea, by the Reverend Robert Kane, S.J., brought to you by Pascal Light. Many a time I had watched and listened to the sea on the soft smooth beach of Killiney. Many a time at Sandymount I had gazed over the bare bleak sand when the waters had fled away and were faintly heard in the distance. Many a time I had lingered on the rocks at Sandy Cove while the tide rose or fell. Once, as I crossed the Atlantic, I had passed my days in reverent and loving study of the ocean. It seemed to me that I had gradually learned to understand its language, and I could never grow weary of what the sea was saying to me. At last, one day I chanced to hear again the 92nd Psalm. Suddenly the thought flashed upon my mind, why not put into human words the sermon of the sea? I had no need to meditate. The sound of the sea was in my soul. My pen moved to its inspiration, and this is what I wrote. The floods have lifted up, Lord, the floods have lifted up their voice, the floods have lifted up their waves with the noise of many waters. Wonderful are the surges of the sea, wonderful is the Lord upon the deep. Psalm 92, verse 3, 5. By the seashore, on a quiet morning of summer, you will wonder at a changeful loveliness that never wearies. You will bow before a changeless majesty that never grows familiar, and while with dreamlike spell the music of many-voiced waters lulls your sense to repose, there will break on your heart, in indefinite yet simple accents, strange sounds which you have often heard before, yet never so plainly as when listening to the sermon of the sea. Each creature that his hand has made speaks of the greatness of God. The earth reiterates the teaching of his wisdom. The mountains shake with the terror of his name or lift up their peaks through the clouds in the stillness of contemplation. The forests bend and whisper in the awfulness of his presence. The sky reflects his splendour or thunders forth his wrath. The adoring stars send their meditative light with unimaginable speed from fabulous distances to bring to the weeping and wakeful eyes of mortal men the message of his watchfulness. But the sea, the glorious sea, with its subtle infinity of expression, with its portentous oneness of truth, speaks in multitudinous utterances that blend forever into one living and lasting lesson, a sermon such as must fascinate the thoughtless and subdue the strong, the sermon of its surging depths. Restless yet constant, yielding yet ruthless, liquid yet massive, bright yet deceitful, obedient yet overwhelming, beautiful yet murderous, the sea, the resounding, fathomless sea, the lovely, caressing sea, the mighty, majestic sea, the terrible, the eternal sea. What are its wild waves saying? The floods have lifted up, O Lord. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods have lifted up their waves with the noise of many waters. Wonderful are the surges of the sea. Wonderful is the Lord upon the deep. What is the message of the ocean? Let me try to put into human words, faint and feeble echoes though they are, of the full-voiced melody of the ocean, something of what my heart hears when I listen to the sermon of the sea. In the bright summer morning, as you stray along the strand, there is all around you a rapture of freshening air and an ecstasy of happy sunshine. Above you, in a faint infinity of blue, the sky reposes, and hidden somewhere in its heights a voice of a bird carols grateful alleluias.